Hi, Tom. How are you today?
Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. I am doing fine. So, what are your thoughts on climate change?
I think climate change is happening. We are causing it, and we need to do something about it.
Well, I
Fair.
think that climate change is a natural cycle that occurs over time, and we are not causing it.
Well,
Mm,
if you look at the evidence, it is clear that we are. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing rapidly. It is a greenhouse gas, so as more of it builds up, the more the Earth warms up.
But carbon dioxide is not a greenhouse gas.
what?
It is a naturally occurring gas, and it is vital to life.
Yeah,
It
but
is true that it is a naturally occurring gas, but it is also a greenhouse gas. The evidence for this is that as the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has increased over time, the Earth has warmed up.
But this is not evidence that carbon dioxide causes climate change. It could be a coincidence.
But this
no.
correlation has been shown in many different ways, by many different people. It is not just one study, it is a body of evidence.
But correlation does not imply causation.
Well, there are other things that point to the fact that we are causing climate change.
Like what?
Well, we know that humans are putting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than nature can take out.
But isn't nature taking out more than we are putting in?
Well, yes it is, but only just, and only because of human activity.
But why is nature putting more in than we are taking out?
Because we are burning fossil fuels like coal and oil. They contain
Fair.
carbon, and when we burn them, the carbon gets released into the atmosphere.
But
Logical.
wouldn't nature have burned them anyway?
No.
No, these fuels are millions of years old and would have stayed in the ground for millions of years to come if we hadn't burned them.
But we are not the first ones to burn them. Humans have been burning fossil fuels for centuries, and before that, nature was still releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. But wouldn't nature have burned them anyway?
No,
What?
these fuels are millions of years old and would have stayed in the ground for millions of years to come if we hadn't burned them.
But we are not the first ones to burn them.
You already said
Humans have
this.
been burning fossil fuels for centuries, and before that, nature was still releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Sure, but you said this.
Yes, but it wasn't as much as we are now because there were fewer people back then and they didn't use as many resources or energy.
Yep.
We use a lot more than our ancestors did, so more is being released into the atmosphere than ever before. And
Well
this
put.
extra release is causing climate change because of all that extra carbon dioxide in the air.
But why do
Very
you
well
think it
put.
is important that humans reduce their greenhouse gas emissions?
It's
Because
obvious.
if we don't do something about it soon, there will be a lot of bad things happening, like rising sea levels which will flood low-lying areas like Bangladesh, droughts in Africa,
Bangladesh?
extreme weather events like hurricanes and tornadoes, species extinctions, food shortages, disease spreading faster, etc., etc.
Etc.
Well,
etc.
I am not convinced by your arguments so far because you haven't shown me any evidence that humans are causing climate change or that
just
climate
did.
change is even a problem at all.
But I just did. You can look at graphs showing how much CO2 has increased over time and how much warmer it has become over time too. They correlate with each other.
Correlation does not imply causation.
Then what causes both things to happen?
The sun warms up the earth every day. Maybe this causes both things to happen.
But when you compare changes in solar radiation with changes in temperature over time, and graph them, they don't correlate with each other. They only correlate with each other when you include CO2 data on top of your graph, which means CO2 must be causing temperature changes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, what about volcanoes? Don't they cause
jeez.
climate change too?
Volcanoes also emit CO2, like humans do, but their effects on global temperatures are tiny compared with human-caused warming.
But if humans are causing climate change, why don't we see it happening over shorter time scales?
Over short time scales, the weather and other natural cycles can mask any changes caused by human activity. For example, the global temperature has been steadily rising, but there have been some ups and downs along the way. But when you look at longer time scales, 50 years or more, where these smaller cycles average out, then you can really see what is going on.
I still don't think that humans are causing climate change because I don't like how people are being told they have to change their lifestyles in order to stop it from happening.
Not a good argument.
Well, some people might need to make lifestyle changes in order to help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but this doesn't mean everyone has to do so. Everyone should just try to reduce their own emissions as much as they can.
Hey, nice.
Okay, well, thanks for your thoughts, Sarah. It was good talking with you.
Good on you, Sarah.